My name is Steve. I'm with 2A Tactical LLC in Arizona. I primarily am a Class 7 FFL dealer with a SOT license that do customizations for people with their firearms. So I'm primarily a customizer. I guess you could call me a tattoo artist for firearms. I'm a military veteran. I was a police officer for just about 15 years as well. I've always been, I grew up with firearms, and originally when I started, I thought about doing training and helping people with that based off of my years of experience, but then found a niche in the business with the customizing, making things that are unique for people. Honestly, the most lucrative is definitely the decorative, the things where people are taking what's important to them, coming up with an idea and saying, hey, I want this on, my handgun or my rifle. I've had firefighters come in and say, hey, you know what, I've been a firefighter for 20 years. I want to have something that's dedicated to that. And next thing you know, they've got a firearm that represents everything that they've ever done. I mean, anybody can buy a knife, anybody can buy a firearm, but the normal basic stuff tend to be a little less exciting than something that's more about your personality. I have a fiber laser. It's a 30-watt SpeedMarker FL. I do have a rotary device with that as well that I utilize for, bottles or gas cans or forends of firearms, AR-15 forends that are round. I can utilize that for and mark everything up. It's really cool. When I was doing my customizing and I was trying to get laser companies that were around me to go ahead and work, it's hard for them to see your own vision. It's basically asking another artist to see your artwork the way you see it through your own eyes, and that's really not the most easy thing to do. There are companies out there, and I started doing research, and what I found to be is that Trotec was probably the most aligned with what I was looking for to do. For me, I want the best. So I will spend the time and the money. I will work for what I want to get the best quality so that I can put out the best quality. And that's why I went with Trotec. The ability to walk out, into my own shop from my home and do that without having to worry about it. If I'm up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, to be able to turn it on and to start working and doing the things that I need to do is astronomically. I don't know if I can put a dollar amount to that. It's got a lot of capability that you wouldn't think about when you're originally doing it. I mean, when I first started looking at lasers, everything was about marking. You can take a piece of machinery and adapt it to what it is that you want to do. And even though it's got a primary function of essentially marking, you can mark the heck out of it and do a whole lot more. And people don't realize that. Matt over at down in Tucson was fantastic. I actually did, run into stuff with heating issues because in Arizona, it's never cold. I was able to call tech support. Tech support helped me walk through all the stuff right on the telephone, made it real simple. Now I do this stuff on a regular basis to make sure that the laser stays cool. When I opted to go with Trotec, it was literally, I think, 3 weeks from the time that it was paid for to the time that it was set up and operating. And that to me was, invaluable. Like I said, I think to me, time is a huge commodity that I can't put a monetary value on because it's so precious when it comes down to what we do. So the time frame to be able to work with stuff and get those things out there and the product there, and to have Matt and his team come up and do the setup and the education on that was, invaluable for me. The laser has given me the opportunity to grow the business by reaching out beyond just firearms. It's gone from marking just barrels or just doing names on mag wells to creating heirlooms to creating a magazine for retail sales for shops that make them a little different. The laser has given me the opportunity to take my creativity to a different level. And that's something that's really hard when you're dealing with metalwork. You look at all this stuff that you try to create and make. The laser has created that ability to take that creativity that you normally see only in the movies, and with a budget that's far higher than what we would normally have here, and create very similar items for people to own. So if you'd like to place an order with us, go to www.2atacticalllc.com and you can place an order. You can also visit us on Parler at 2A-Tactical-AZ. We are on Instagram at 2A_Tactical_AZ as well.